All right, I'm gonna be tapping Atlas while he is moving or lunging, so I'm gonna make sure that he's fine with me tapping all over his body on both sides at the standstill first, and then I'm gonna ask him to lunge around me and then start tapping on him while he's moving. And I'm looking for the same thing, that relaxation, but while he continues to move. So it's a little bit easier to do it on his neck or on his side. I would start on the neck if the horse is really used to like leg aids on the side. Atlas really isn't because he's not under saddle yet. And that's exactly what I was looking for right there. So he could have kept going, but he just kind of stopped and relaxed. I'm okay with that. And you kind of have to be specific on what you want to teach, because you could teach your horse when he feels that tapping to stop and relax. There he got a little worried. That's all right. I'm going to just keep going with him. Or you could teach your horse to relax while he is moving. So you kind of have to pick that out beforehand, because it's going to be confusing if you're asking for one thing one time and another a different time. They're not going to understand. So, and then kind of, work around his body and see that looked really nice. So I tapped him on the hindquarters and he stretched down and lowered his head. That looked really great. And you gotta have to explore and figure things out and see what spot works best for your horse. Like Atlas kind of responded a bit better to tapping on his hip, and probably most like domesticated horses that have been trained with traditional training might not respond like that, because usually on their hip or their sides is go forward. I'm asking him to go forward and he's like trying to decide if he can go between me and there, and then he eventually decides here, just stand still and relax. But that back and forth, he wasn't sure what to do exactly there. But so if you have like a regular traditionally trained horse, I would start like maybe on his neck and kind of work on that, and make sure that you work on tapping on his sides at the standstill first, and he understands that that means to relax and not just go forward, because then you're just going to have a horse that's running around on the lunge line. It's going to be confusing for everybody. But that looks really nice. So I'm tapping him on the sides and he's just relaxing, stretching down, and then he lifted his head back up, so I'm just going to ask him again. And you can notice now, since this is I think the fourth or fifth time that I've tapped him, he's really responding a lot quicker to it than he was in the previous times. So that's interesting to notice. So I'm just going to I am out of frame here. But I'm just tapping him on the neck and staying with him. And I'm just going to have my belly button and my feet facing forward, and I'm just going to follow him and tap on the side and just kind of wait for him to relax here. And I would like him to keep going. There we go. Out of frame again. And I'm just going to kind of follow along with him and just try to keep his space too. So a bit of multitasking. There, he stretched down a little bit. I do want him to keep going because I'd like him to relax in his walk. I want to look for more of that relaxation and movement. I feel like that's a little bit more practical than asking him to stop every time, but it kind of depends on the horse. So, and what you'd like to teach, because I've seen it used as like a stop and relax cue as well. But I really want my horses to be relaxed in movement, and Atlas tends to be really tense and he wants to hold that in while he moves, and I want to really get rid of that. So again, we're just going to work on the neck here and kind of on the withers. And he is moving pretty relaxed. I'm really happy with this. That looks really great. So he's okay. If he stops there when I take the pressure away, I just gently ask him to go forward. If he doesn't want to with that little pressure, that's okay. I don't want to force him to, because I do want him to stay relaxed. But he looks great. He's got his nice level top line. He's licking and chewing now, and he was just moving really rhythmically and softly. And now he's kind of trying to connect with me and doing some more licking. That looks fantastic. Just review some staying still. That looks fantastic too. Like I said before, he's really lowering his head more and responding quicker to the tapping. So I asked him to go the other way. I'm just going to keep following with him. I'm not going to punish him. I'm just going to ask him to go the other way. He's lunging really nicely. He's nice and relaxed. He's stepping up underneath himself. He's got a nice bend. Moved nicely into the trot. That looks great. I'm just kind of testing my work here and seeing if he remains relaxed going into the trot on the lunge line. And there he goes back to relaxation. Very nice.